Hi, I'm Sunny, and today we will talk about the part two of the lesson properties of a well written text. But before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe so you're updated with my video uploads. And in this lesson, we will actually talk about, uh, in part one, we talked about the different ways on how to organize a text in terms of organization of ideas, achieving coherence and cohesion. And in this part two of the lesson, we will talk about the mechanics of correctly using the English language in terms of diction, capitalization, and punctuation. When using proper language, especially when writing, you should make sure that the language you use is appropriate to your audience. Meaning, if your target readers are kids, then use words that can be easily understood by kids. Another thing is make sure that you consider the formality of the situation. It is okay to use less formal English when you are writing in a casual situation like for a friend or for a classmate, but it's good to remain professional and polite. And there are instances when writers sometimes encounter problems with misused words, words with unwanted connotations, jargon, technical, and highfalutin words. So, writers might sometimes use a word that does not mean what they think it does. Since your work will be published, it is important to check if the words are correctly used. In the examples, between is misused because you use between if you want to compare two things only. However, if there are three or more items, use the word among. In the other examples, complement and complement were misused. A compliment, a compliment means a nice thing to say, while a complement is something that completes something else. The keyword for complement is complete. Now, look at this example and see what's wrong with it. Next, a connotation is something suggested by a word or thing. However, there are instances wherein there is a wrong or unwanted connotation to a word due to its context. Look at the examples. The word is salvaged. The real and dictionary meaning of it is synonymous to save or rescue. However, in the Philippine context, salvage is used as a replacement for someone being brutally killed. In the next set of examples, the word bold is used. Its meaning is fearless before danger, related to taking risks. However, it commonly has a sexual tone when used in the Philippines. It usually means taking off clothes and being naked. The next thing that you need to consider when choosing words when writing is the use of jargon, technical terms, and highfalutin words. So, jargon is a special set of word or phrase used by a particular group or in a certain profession. So, words like litigation, objection, and court ruling are commonly used by lawyers or people working for the law. Words like physical exam, extraction, and consultation are used by medical professionals. In the example, the word abeyance might be a familiar word to those knowledgeable of the law. However, in layman's terms, it means postponement or suspension. The tone should also be considered depending on your purpose and audience. Formal diction is used in writing academic texts like essays, research, and even business letters. When doing so, the use of standard English is advised. Look at the examples. The correct usage of grammar and appropriate words are used to sound formal. And on the other hand, informal diction is used for instances like personal messaging, creative writing, and others. It is the way of writing that uses the speech elements we use every day, especially in casual conversations. For example, contractions of words like it's for it is, I for I have, are commonly used in even are commonly used in casual conversations. They are actually called colloquial words. Capitalization is the act of writing the first letter of a word in uppercase while the rest of the letters are in lowercase. So follow correct capitalization for proper nouns. So names of a particular person, place, or thing, like your own name, mine is Honey, or of places like Makati or Glorieta for shopping mall. The first letter of the first word of your paragraph must be capitalized too. Next, months of the years and days of the week must start with a capital letter, like W for Wednesday or J for January. Historical period or time, like the Renaissance, so capital letter R. Baroque period, capital letters B and P. And the Great Depression, so capital letters G and D. And when writing titles of movies, songs, books, articles, and others, like for example, One More Chance, so it must have capital letters O, M, and C. And Endgame, so with capital letters E and G. The next thing that you should consider is the use of correct punctuation marks. Comma is commonly misused when writing. You can use the comma in the following instances. First, when there is a list. In this case, observe the use of Oxford comma. It's the comma before the word end and the last item in the list. So use a comma after the introductory phrase. In the example, a comma is placed after the phrase in the beginning. Next, use a comma before coordinating conjunctions like the fanboys. So, for and nor, but, or yet so. In the example, the comma is placed before but, a coordinating conjunction. Next, enclose an appositive with commas. So, an appositive is a noun or phrase that renames or describes the noun to which it is next. In the example, the appositive is husband of Queen Elizabeth, which explains who Prince Philip is. And there are other uses of comma for like dates and places. Next is the correct use of semicolons. So semicolons join ideas that are related and equal in grammatical structure. So in the first example, a semicolon is used between two related independent clauses. So the first independent clause and the second independent clause. It acts as a substitute for a coordinating conjunction. In the second example, the semicolon is used to replace a period between related sentences. The second sentence starts with an adverb or a transitional expression such as, for example, besides, furthermore, otherwise, however, thus, therefore, and there are many more. In the last example, a semicolon is used to replace commas when individual commas are used to separate the city or town for the province, and a semicolon is used to separate the three places on the list. So there are like three sets of places separated by semicolons. And there are more punctuation marks that you should know how to use when writing. So try to answer the following by choosing the words that are written correctly. Now, identify the correct punctuation mark to complete the sentences. Now, to summarize, proper language use allows you to capture the message that you want to convey to your readers. And to properly use the standard English language, consider your tone, the tone of your text, depending on your audience and purpose. Avoid using jargons and use words based on their correct definition. Next, mechanics are conventions that must be considered in writing, and some of these conventions are spelling, punctuation marks, and capitalization. So I hope you learned something today. Until next lesson, see you next time. Goodbye.